Hello, welcome to the Lesson Jigsaw channel. My name is Chris. This is Have a Tea with me. We are here for English language conversation practice. If you are learning English and you want to practice your speaking and conversation skills, we are here for you. All you need to do is click the link that you will see in the comments. You can come on through and chat to us and practice. If you want to practice a particular situation, a scenario, we can practice that. Or if you want to, if you've got some new words or new expressions that you wanted to use, you're not 100% sure if you're using it in the right way, same sort of thing, come on through. You can practice with us to get more confident with those words or those expressions, whatever they might be. But we are here for you to practice, as I say, your speaking and conversation skills, hopefully get a bit more confident with them and more confident with English. And we are here every day, Monday to Friday, from more or less 12 o'clock Universal Time. That's 12 p.m. UTC, so 12 o'clock Universal Time. If that is not a good time for you, perhaps you're watching us on the replay, and hello if you are, you can always send us an email, chatonlessonjigsaw@gmail.com. Let us know where you are in the world, what time zone you're in, and maybe the days and times that might be better for you. And we can see if we can arrange a live stream so you can come on and practice speaking with us. So yes, that's about it in a nutshell. In a nutshell, that's about it. We like that. I like that expression. In a nutshell, in a brief summary. In a nutshell. I guess it depends on how big the shell is. Depends on the nut. It might be a peanut, might be a Brazil nut or a walnut. But anyway, encapsulated. Like in a small size is that shell. Okay, so yeah, we are here for English language practice, English language conversation, and so when we try and practice, now if I'm here by myself, I talk to myself is the general thing, but we generally look for inspiration. So you think, oh, okay, what can we talk about? What can I say? I think we need to look for inspiration. What are you going to talk about? So that can be from a picture. It can be from something that you're seeing live at the moment. It could be something that you read. Could be a story. Could be like a novel. Could be like a newspaper article. Could be something you saw on TV. Maybe a movie, something like that. So basically anything, of course, could be your inspiration, like you would normally anyway. And then when you're thinking about how the conversation will develop, think of the question words: who, what, when, where, why, how, and any sort of question you can form, and let the conversation spread from there. So the same in English, of course, as you would anywhere else. So today, what we're going to look at is the United Nations has a web page. UN News seems to be the title of the publication. It's interesting. So they've got it set up. So they've got a whole bunch of different languages. At the top right, you might be able to see that. But then they have the home, obviously, and you select different continents or areas. Then they've got, if you want to, I guess, filter. It's a nice word to remember, to filter. So you want to isolate different information, let's say, to filter. So maybe you only want news from Africa, or maybe you only want news from the Americas, or something like that. You can filter that, same as you would perhaps filter, say if you search on Google, maybe you want to filter only by websites or pages that were updated in the last 24 hours or this year or something like that. So you can filter the results. Okay, so let me just There we go. So you can, it's a filter based on topic, and they've got different things like peace and security, economic development, humanitarian aid, and so on. Then they tend to go further in depth with different topics and different names for different items. Also seems to be a podcast that could be good, perhaps if you're on the move. If you're on the move and you want to listen to something, it can be good, of course. If you are on the move. And so, yeah, but always remember, if you're listening, you need to try and find some way of consolidating. So using the information or the practice that you've had from listening, maybe some of the words that you've listened, you need to try and then use some of those words is really, really important. So so try and do that extra step or some extra steps to practice. Okay, and then so there's different topics, different ways to refine. And you can see they have different headlines. I suppose with the United Nations, I suppose it's easier to expect that it's focusing on the things or the problems in the world as I guess is the reason for the United Nations in the first place, in a way. And then you have different things. Nice vocabulary here. Editors' picks. So pick like a choice. So they're probably, instead of, because sometimes you go onto places and you have like most read or most popular and that sort of thing, or most commented on posts, but this one has just been chosen by the editor as these could be perhaps the most interesting stories currently. Most commented on, if you find websites or news websites where it's most commented on, they could be useful as well, because then you'll also see how in a chat or in a short message way how people write. Same on YouTube. When you look at some of the videos and you see the comments, you can also see different ways that people write and react to each other when they're writing. Sometimes the messages are lengthy, they're a bit long, but normally they're reasonably short, normally to the point. And of course, when you're reading through comments and random comments in a way, it's always good to be, not to try and take it all too seriously, because different people have different reasons, I suppose, for writing comments. Some people just write comments because they want to give their opinion, and sometimes the people try to hurt people, of course. So trying to not too worried too much about the comments if they are negative in particular. So lots of stories about some of the problems like drought, economic aid, wars, of course, and that sort of stuff. Let's have a look at this. So this is a lovely picture of the Earth from a far distance. And so you got these are very common, aren't they? These types of articles or these types of stories where it's got like a list. People like lists, don't they? So this is about from Earth Day, International Earth Day, 5 ways we're working to repair the damage to our Earth and combat climate change. Combat. It's often used with climate change, isn't it? To combat. It's like the fight against climate change, the battle. So I guess in a way it's looked at like a war as well, but this is I'm not sure what the war is against. Is the war is against ourselves in a way, I guess, isn't it really? So the thing to consider. Look at this. This is the highlight quote here. We have proven that together we can tackle monumental challenges. Monumental. Now there's a nice word to use. If you want to talk about something really, really big, you probably know monument. Like if you go and visit a city, or like for tourist attractions, you think of the monuments and that sort of thing. Maybe it's like a statue or some sort of design, a sculpture or an artwork. Maybe it's like a park or something, and there's like a little a plaque or like a piece of metal with a dedication to some people. Perhaps there was a battle or people lost their lives in a particular place. Monuments can take many different forms, but so many times monuments can be big, and so if it's a monumental challenge, it's a really, really big challenge. That's why we use monumental. Okay, whoops. Okay, pressed too much there. So at the moment, I'm just scanning. I'm scanning the story, and so we can pick out the points straight away. So even if we're thinking, okay, this is a longish article, not too long, but a longish article. But we can very quickly, particularly if it's a list, and I guess that's part of the attraction of lists, you can very quickly get the general idea. So you can just look for the numbers, of course. So number one, converting coal mines into carbon sinks. Carbon sinks, that's an interesting idea. Like a sink, like you have in the kitchen, maybe for water. Or I guess the two most common places for sink, or maybe three, but the two most common probably going to be the kitchen and the bathroom. So it's like the basin where the water can be collected, or maybe where you wash your hands, that sort of thing. But you also have the maybe in a laundry or a place where you do washing. Normally there'll be a sink or a basin in there as well. So they're looking, I guess, for it to take some of the carbon. I'm assuming to absorb some of the carbon. Okay. So that's me guessing without really looking into the story too much. But there we go. Restoring ecosystem connectivity is the second point. Nice picture of Australia there, southwest of Australia. Okay, interesting. Yes, and so the picture, that's interesting. So the picture there, it looks as though they planted trees in the shape of a goanna. It's the information below the picture. Interesting. So everything you highlight, they want you to share by either Facebook, Twitter, or email. But it's good that option is available, I guess. It's interesting the sort of ideas that come up with this sort of thing. Okay, so this was prompted. This is interesting. So there was a satellite photo 20 years ago from the southwestern corner of Australia and showed lots of vegetation loss. So lots of the plants, trees, the greenery in particular had been lost because of human activity, because of what we're doing. Since, I guess that's the main thing to consider, that since European settlement, before that, everything was okay with the indigenous the indigenous people looking after the country, so there's no real issue. But I guess it's since I guess industrialization is the bigger problem in terms of impact in general. But yes. So number 3, transplanting. So moving survival coral fragments. Okay. So if you've got a piece of coral where other pieces are dying for different reasons, maybe pollution, maybe that crown of thorns sort of moving along, eating the coral, the bleaching of the coral from the sun getting too hot, or the water getting too hot. So maybe taking, I guess it's a coral that's doing okay, managed to survive the problems, and moving it. I guess it's the idea of transplanting. Or maybe it's just moving that piece to another area, so maybe cutting off another area but very close by as opposed to very far away. So this is in Belize where they're doing these activities. But I guess this can be in quite a few places where they have coral. Number 4 is restoring watersheds affected by the climate crisis in the Andes. Nice sip of tea there. We're still drinking the lemongrass tea, which is delicious. Now, just a reminder, if you're just tuning in, this is Have a Tea with me. We are here for English language conversation practice and English language speaking practice. So if you are learning English and you need to practice your conversation and speaking skills, we are here for you. We are here to practice speaking, practice conversation. So at the moment, I'm just looking through a news story from one of the UN websites and talking about that. But we can talk about anything you prefer. So if you prefer to talk about maybe just general chit chat about what's happening in your life or around the world, maybe you want to talk about a specific topic. So maybe you like to talk about sports or food or the environment or travel or school, education, public transport, whatever the topic is. Let me know. We can have a chat. You may just want to practice a particular situation. Maybe you have a situation coming up which you want to practice and get more confident with. So that's available to you as well. So all you need to do with any of those is click on the link and you can come on through and chat live. So as I say, we are here for English language conversation practice for English language speakers. And yeah, only need to click on the link. If now we are here every day from Monday to Friday. But if there is, if you're watching this on the replay and you're thinking that's not a really good time, 12 o'clock Universal Time, Monday to Friday is not great for me, send us an email. Write to chat on lessonjigsaw@gmail.com. Let us know where you are in the world and the days and times that are better for you, because at different times people are working, sleeping, doing lots of different things. Maybe you have to shop at a particular time, or doing different errands or tasks, whatever the case may be. So of course, send us an email. Let us know the times and days that are more convenient for you. We can see if we can set up a live stream between us, and we can practice your speaking and conversation skills. At the moment, I'm just going through this story from the UN website, talking about 5 ways that I guess they're doing, and people are being active, trying to, as they say, combat climate change or or here, as it's mentioned, the climate crisis. The climate crisis. In this particular one, they're in the Andes. Beautiful picture. I love. I love pictures with reflections. This is quite nice. So, um, uh, so it looks to be, I guess, people going up. But what are they doing though? So they're carrying something. So restoring watersheds. So now, a watershed. Now, I assuming a watershed is a place where you hold or store water. Okay, and there's a quick scan of the article. We can see we've got 5 different countries, so local communities across 5 different countries working together to grow and plant native trees and protect the water sources. Okay, so that's the idea. So it's okay. So this is interesting. So we just saw, like, from the last one, where they were talking about again, the European settlements in Australia had affected the land, and this is similar here. So since the Spanish conquest, since over the last, well, from 500 years ago, let's say, so the native forests have been largely lost. Yeah, so I guess, people want wood or whatever minerals and things there may be under the ground. So from mining and deforestation and getting the wood, the timber, and whatever else, using the natural resources. Okay, and so with the last Andean glaciers melting rapidly, water security is now becoming a major issue. Yeah, I guess the thing is, we have the warnings, don't we? We have the warnings every so often, but because we can't see something, we're very visual, aren't we? We can't see something, and especially if we don't see it every day or regularly, maybe we might see a story on the news or read an article, and it's like, oh, okay, that's interesting, and we go, okay, we need to think about that, how we can do something, but we don't think about it again until, like, maybe 6 months later when we see another story about that topic, and then suddenly it becomes, more months, then more years, and then suddenly we're a decade later, so 10 years later, and then suddenly it's 20 years later. Suddenly we're in different positions in our lives. We've got kids maybe, or we're working in different positions in different companies. And I guess the question is, what are we doing ourselves? And I guess most people are happy to say, oh, well, I recycle a bit. I separate the different types of glass and the paper and the plastic, and I try to use bottles instead of plastic, and I bring my own bag to the supermarket. And I guess everything helps. As we say, everything helps. And it all adds up. Except, of course, when you see I'm sure if you ever saw these stories, I'm not sure if this was just sort of like a clickbait story, and it's not the common thing. But I do remember seeing a story where, I don't know where it was though, my memory is terrible with that. But I do remember seeing a story where you had all of these, or the companies or whatever, were collecting the separated, recycled items, but then bringing them to the rubbish dump of sorts, and then just tossing it all in together. So the separation didn't matter at all. People could have just chucked everything in together. So it was a waste, unfortunately, to bring it all to the rubbish dump. I guess they have Rubbish dumps. I suppose this is in most places. They have rubbish dumps or a tip, a rubbish tip. So just places where you can take, particularly if it's big, or you have an individual item that's big, or it's um, a large amount that you have, or it's a particular type of device. Maybe it's like an electrical item or something, or batteries. I know, for example, I know the supermarkets do that a lot, don't they? Where it's like they have the little boxes or containers for batteries and that sort of thing to be recycled or actioned, or I'm not sure exactly what they do to batteries, but whatever they do to batteries is done. So that's done sometimes, but I don't know. It's an interesting thing, because I guess the question, if we think about, what we do to help the environment or to save the environment, if we're just doing things to make ourselves feel better, so we feel like we're making a contribution, or if we're actually doing something effective. I guess, like in this example, in the Andes, it's what they're doing has a very real effect, and I suppose they can see, they can see the difference, that sort of thing. So this is interesting, how they help, but I guess they have to, because I'm not sure this is a good thing to say, but no one else helps in a way, perhaps. So that the native forest, and the Polylepis seems to be a species. So it's a shrub and trees that are endemic in the mid to high elevation regions of the tropical Andes. So that particular species they need there, so they want to, I guess they're replanting, or like we saw with the coral, they're transplanting or moving. And the wetlands help create and store large amounts of water around their roots, soils, and moss. Okay, so you plant the trees and the species, shrubs as well, as it's saying here, and that creates the shed and the storage of water. So there's more moisture, I guess, for a few things. I guess it's for not literally water just to drink, but also maybe to grow things as well, is part of the idea there. So they're our best allies, they're saying. So they're our best allies to adapt to climate change, and will help secure water for our livelihoods in the next decades to come. Okay. It's a nice word, to secure, to give security in a way. So make sure the security about water, so they can continue living, but we will have to bring them back. Okay. So by the end of 2022, this is a nice bit of, if you ever want to use the future perfect. It's not used too much, really. I mean, used sometimes, but it's not the most common, shall we say. It's a nice little expression. It's not the most common. It's like a euphemism. It's not common. Okay, it is not the most common. But here is a real example of the future perfect. So they will have planted. So it's just like a present perfect, like here, but we're using will as well. So it's as simple as that. So it's not exactly the most difficult tense to use. I guess the difficulty could be with the past participle there. But yes, but anyway, so they will have planted more than 6 million native trees. across the Andes. Okay, and so they're trying to protect 1 million acres or hectares. Sorry, hectares. The high Andean forests. Okay, I know without I guess without not trying to sound condescending at all, but I would say hats off to them. Hats off to them. The expression. It's like the old sort of tradition where people wear hats and like they, say well done, sort of congratulations. And it's like I think it's a great thing when people do things to help themselves, and it's a very meaningful thing. It's not a token gesture, we can say. It's not a token gesture. Now, token, when you see token, I guess you see token like if you go to an amusement park or something, you want to go for a ride, they give you like a token, like a piece of metal or plastic or something. And you give it to the person or you put it in the machine and you can activate it. But it's not like a real coin of money, although they have those sort of machines as well. That's like a token. So it's something that's not real, but you use it for something. So a token gesture, a gesture being an action or an activity. Because if you think of gesture, I guess, as movements, like hand gestures and that sort of thing. So, but if someone does something or people do something that's a token gesture, it's just something just to sort of look good, just to like tick a box, to do what they're supposed to do. Box. So it's not necessarily that they want to do it or they're particularly dedicated to whatever the thing is, but they just do it because they sort of have to, in a way. That sort of thing. Like in different sort of things, they may talk about people as tokens. So for example, maybe for awards and that sort of thing. So maybe there might be a token black person, or there might be a token woman. And so they have like a list of people who might win the award. And so maybe they see, they're all men. So, okay, we should have a woman in there so that it looks fair and everything is good and we're open to everyone. So we need to put a woman's name in there. We need to nominate a woman or something like that. Or you might have a similar thing like on a board or an executive or something where okay, we need to look diversified or something like that. So they'll try and get maybe people from different origins or different backgrounds, to say, hey, we're diversified, we're in touch with society, that sort of thing. Some of them may be genuine, but other ones may be token gestures, or the person may be used as a token. Don't get me wrong, those people, I'm sure, are trying and they're doing their best, and it's like maybe they see their role as like, okay, it's a start and we need to push and I need to make a contribution, and absolutely all those things, but you get the point. So it's like if something is token, they're just doing it, so it's not a genuine let's say initiative. So the activity that they're doing, it's not for the purposes of developing, let's say, disadvantaged people in society, or people who don't always have the same opportunities and that sort of thing. So maybe like a token gesture. Okay, but yes, no. So they're of course doing very well, as we can see, and good luck to them. it's always good when there is success. And restoring carbon-absorbing seagrass. Okay, so it's trying to find, there's two things to absorb carbon. So it says seagrass, and what was the other one? Was the first one. So having a carbon sink for old, so making coal mines, not even old coal mines, so just coal mines. Okay, no, it's once mining is completed. So that's a nice use of once there, because often we think of once as in one time, but this is once meaning when or after. After the mining is completed, what was once a forest is often converted into grasslands, often composed of non-native species. This means, of course, the loss of large tracts of forested areas and displacement, and even loss of species. Okay, so what they do is, maybe, I don't know if this is planted or that just grows naturally, but what was there before is not replaced. Okay, so they're planting native trees. That always seems to be the key, isn't it? So it's the same as what was there before, not just putting up, what did that people used to do before? Put up pine trees, wasn't it? Everywhere, put up a pine tree. And that was I remember when I was growing up, that seemed to be the solution. Let's just put up a pine tree. Let's do, 50 pine trees, and that'll be good. Maybe it is, I don't know. But that was a common thing. Okay, so this is an animal on the lake. This is in Brazil. Okay, nice. That's not all, folks. So these are just 5 examples. Okay, so for further research, there we go. So there's just 5 examples of more than 50 projects registered with the UN. Okay, and so they're doing different projects, and they've also got some water restoration projects as well. So I don't know. It's a strange thing to read when I don't know, you sort of read these sorts of things and maybe you think, oh, maybe I should be more active rather than just using a good bag when I'm shopping, or a reusable bag. And like we say, every little thing helps, I'm sure, but perhaps we can always think of other things we could do, more things we can do. I guess that's something to think about. So I guess when we've gone through there, we have thought about some of these things. So we've naturally answered some questions, like maybe who are the people, what are they doing, why are they doing it, where are they, and that sort of thing. And then we've gone into a little bit of comment, thinking about different memories or ideas that we remember. Sometimes our memories are clear, sometimes they're unclear. So and that's when I guess you have other people, when they contribute, you can get some clarification to be more certain about if an idea is accurate or not accurate. I guess is a common thing. Okay, so just one more reminder. This is Have a Tea with Me. This is an open English conversation chat from Lesson Jigsaw, or the Lesson Jigsaw channel. So yes, here for English language speaking and conversation practice. So if you are learning English, you want to practice your speaking and conversation skills, we are here for you. So whenever we're doing one of our live streams, all you need to do is click on the link, and you can come on through and chat with us. And if you see one of these on replay and you're thinking, oh, I'd like to participate in one of the conversation live streams, but I don't ever see them live because I'm working, studying, whatever the case may be, send us an email, chatonlessonjigsaw@gmail.com. Let us know where you are in the world, your time zone, and let us know what days and times might be more convenient for you to practice your conversation and speaking skills. And we can see if we can arrange a time that's good for you and me. Yes, that's about it. We're going to leave it there for today. Thank you very much for watching, participating. Um, don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, all those sorts of things. You can find us. We're mainly on YouTube. Is I guess the biggest in terms of video output. That's the where you'll see us the most. So on YouTube, we're also on Facebook. You'll see our streams also on Twitch and on Twitter. So thank you for joining, following, subscribing, all those sorts of things. And we'll see you next time. So take care, stay happy and healthy, and we'll see you.